has Mayor Fargo done for you?
Who the hell is Mayor Fargo? Listen, Mayor Fargo had her turn, and this is what the result is. Now, you know what Obama said? Stop the bleeding. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we gotta do.
So, what's brought you out here?
Kind of the same thing. I'm former foster youth, and I was booted out. Like, I was put into a place on my 18th. They actually took me from my shelter I was in at the time. On my 18th birthday, and dropped me off in a foster home and said, "We're done with you."
Wow.
And gave me no resources. I get contacted 5 months later by an IOP worker stating, "Hey, you're an IOP." Well, that would have been helpful 5 months ago. Right now, yes, I am currently pregnant, and my child is due in March, and hopefully I'll have housing by then, but it's kind of hard.
You are out here. Have you had any prenatal care?
Yes.
And
I go through NIA, the birthing project.
Okay.
And they help me out with all the prenatal care I need.
Was it drugs and alcohol that brought you out here?
No, it was actually my parents, their drug and alcohol abuse.
Really?
Yes. They chose that over me.
They chose that over you. So you were basically left without options.
Yes. From here, I'm going to go somewhere I can have a shelter, because all the shelters that are now here, they're full, and mostly full with drug addicts. Like most people who don't do drugs, they're typically stuck out here because the shelter would rather take somebody who has drugs, drug problems, and drug issues over somebody who doesn't. Okay, you have somebody out here on the streets who's got kids or is going to have a kid, and you'd rather take somebody who obviously doesn't want their life together because they're still doing drugs while at your shelter. Right. Than somebody who wants to get their life together. That doesn't make any sense. You're here to help people who want to get their life together. I plan on getting into housing soon. I had my fiance, he left to go find a place to shower at.
He's here? Okay.
He refuses to leave me and my sister out here by ourselves because of the fact that there's been multiple rapes and murders of just women found behind Blue Diamond, which is not that far from where we camp. So at night, we're not allowed to be by ourselves. And that's been a general rule from all men have basically told their women out here that you're not allowed to be by yourself at night. So it's a form of protection because, I mean, random women have been found, even a woman who was recently pregnant was found raped and murdered behind.
No kidding. Other?
Yeah, 3 nights ago they also found a body over there, and a dude was severely beaten, and the woman was left raped and murdered.
No kidding. Do you ever see the police out here?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time?
They are always out here. They don't bug us over here as long as we're not doing anything illegal.
Right.
And they only come out here just to check and make sure we're doing everything, keeping our camps clean, and make sure we have everything set up. That's what they're basically out here for, to prevent people who, some men out here who do beat the crap out of their girls. They come out here to check and make sure the girls are still okay.
Any suggestions you would have for the world outside?
Yeah, don't automatically assume that because someone's homeless that they're out here due to drugs or alcohol, or they're out here because they want to be, because in majority of situations, and a lot of people are under the age of 30 out here.
Yeah.
Majority of situations, they're from foster youth, they're from group homes, or their parents just threw them out because they don't want nothing to do with them anymore. Right. Don't just assume what a person's background is. If you want to know what it's like to be homeless, actually come out and talk to somebody. We're not going to hurt you. We're not going to kill you. We're actually all generally nice people. We live just like everybody else does. The only difference is we're outside and you're inside. That's the only difference. Right. We still got our goals. We still got to go. We still want to go to school. We still have our families we still want to look after. I mean, being homeless is just a category that's kind of based off people not knowing. Right. It's based off no knowledge. Right. So if more and more people get more knowledge about it, maybe then less and less people will be homeless.
So what are your thoughts on the current state of our economy?
It's spiraling out of control. It's getting worse. I really don't see it getting any better probably the next 8 to 10 years. You know, the economic problems from around the world, you know, the Nikkei, the Euro, it's all just bouncing downward, you know, it's spiraling, you know, and it's not the U.S., it's the world, and we're a big clog in it. You know, we're the last, quote, superpower on this planet, and we can't even take care of our own backyard, pumping billions into a war that they're never going to win. We've got people that are losing their homes in the Sacramento Valley, San Joaquin, El Dorado County, all over, you know, at mind-boggling, astonishing rates, and our government is doing nothing. Wait a minute, people are losing their homes every day you pick up the newspaper, the Sacramento Bee or wherever from around the world, you know, U.S. News, whatever. It could be any newspaper, and the prevailing stories are always regarding the economy, foreclosures, businesses going out of business, you know, and you look at the Great Depression where people, you know, they have their money tied up in so many stocks, and they saw this crash coming, and they yanked their money out of whatever bonds and certificates they had, tied it up in something else, and companies failed left and right. And this is what's happening today. You've got businesses that have been in business for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, going out of business. I'm not paying my taxes, you know, and when I need help, I can't get it because the programs that's supposed to be out there to help people, there are people down at the county facilities, at the welfare, EDD, and such on, driving Lexus, Mercedes, Cadillacs, you know, Infinities. They've lost their home, they're sleeping in their cars, and they're trying to get food stamps or get, you know, GA of monetary aid, and because they don't know what to do. They're at a loss. They're up against a brick wall, and they're devastated. And our government is not helping us. Our county officials are not helping us. You know, Mayor Fargo certainly is not helping us. You know, I've been homeless, you know, for 6 months, you know, and it's getting worse.
So you haven't seen any outreach by the city or county or anybody?
Oh, none whatsoever. And they're cutting programs. They're cutting programs left and right. And, you know, you've got to be absolutely, I don't know how much more destitute I can be of living next to a bridge in a tent for me to be destitute. You know, I don't have drug problems or psychological problems that they want people. You have to be that mentally messed up for them to help you. Oh, well, you're employable. There's no work. There's nothing for me to be employable to. There's no jobs out there. You know, the economy is so bad, you know, that there are people at Loaves and Fishes, there are families and grandparents. There's like 4, 5, 6 individuals with children. And you can tell it's the mom and dad with the children and the grandparents with them, and you're seeing it daily. I walk through that park with my wife, and every day it's a new experience of more and more individual families, not people, families that are, you see them pull up in their car, and the backseat of their vehicle is packed, and they open up the trunk and it's packed.
So over the last 6 months, you'd say you've seen an increase, definitely?
Oh, good God! From the first of the month to about the 15th, middle of the month, people get their SSI checks or GA checks. Unfortunately, those are a big portion of the individuals that go and abuse the system and go do the drugs and go get a motel room for 3, 4, 5 days and party. I've seen these guys do it. We were talking to a group of guys. There's 3 guys, and each one of them got over $1,000 a month every first of the month, and it was like $3,500 between the 3 of them. And I'm like, if you've got that kind of money, man, I would not be living down here. I would be in a home somewhere. If that was guaranteed money every single month, my rent's paid, my utilities are paid, I'd have a vehicle, and I wouldn't be down here doing, excuse me, I would not be doing this. But they get together, they pool their money together, go get a motel room for a week, buy up as much crack and alcohol and drugs as they can, and party on it until they just into oblivion.
So what do you think the percentage of people that are homeless down here are on drugs or mentally ill? And
I'd say 85%.
So 85% you think are on drugs?
Using some mind-altering